So we're halfway through SummerSlam as night one drew to a close with Seth Rollins cashing in on CM Punk after he won the championship off Gunther. And be honest now, none of you had that on your bingo card, did you? But it also says I thought this was a strong a strong opening night. To be fair, it was better than I actually anticipated. To be fair, because the main event between CM Punk and Gunther was the only one I was really kind of really invested in. Like I said, as I said in my predictions video, which you can check down here, we. I felt that the match card for night two was significantly stronger than night one, but yeah, I thought that this was a pretty strong opening. So yeah, I'll go through them match by match. The night opened with as I had rightly predicted, Roman Reigns and Jey Uso against Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed, and this just, opening the night with this just made all the sense in the world. Like I said, you've got your big two, you've got arguably your second biggest match behind obviously CM Punk and Gunther for the night. So working on that formula of your opener and your closer have to be your biggest two matches. Yes, I play WWE 2K, so yeah, I mean, working on that formula, it was kind of like had to be Roman Reigns and Jey Uso, and obviously with how over Jey Uso is and his entrance music, it always makes for an appropriate opening as well. And I thought this was a solid match. Obviously, it resulted in Roman Reigns and Jey Uso picking up a win. I thought there was some really great storytelling on the road to this as well. I thought this was another really aspect of it that just really elevated the match. So you had some really good storytelling here with Roman Reigns sacrificing himself a couple of times to save his cousin Jey. So yeah, I just thought there was some really good in-ring performances in great mixed with great storytelling. Kind of everything you kind of want from a solid WWE match, really. It had Bronson Reed eating the pin, which kind of makes it again of a sense, because as I was saying in my predictions today, he's kind of the weakest link in this, and I don't mean any disparity to Bronson Reed, but Bronson Reed can appear on Monday Night Raw and just deliver a series of tsunamis any time that they want to reaffirm his dominance. So yeah, he's kind of like the most expendable in out of those four people. So yeah, we moved on to the other tag team between Raquel Rodriguez and Roxanne Perez, defending the tag team titles against Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss. And this was one I did get wrong, and it kind of like it, and I always kind of like had a sneaking suspicion that they could have gone with Oscar. Where did she come from? With Alexa Bliss and Charlotte Flair picking up a win, because just how kind of over the tag team is. So yeah, I mean, sometimes when as we were, as it was stated in the Unreal documentary on Netflix, sometimes when people catch fire, there's not like you can do, and sometimes it's just worth going with it and seeing how it goes, and moving these titles about is good for the titles as well. So yeah, I mean, obviously, Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss are a double act that have got some rising fandom behind them. So yeah, let's see how it goes. And then, so we moved on then to the match between Karrion Kross and Sami Zayn. Sami Zayn predictably picking up a win, which kind of like you had to kind of like happen, because because you just can't kind of see that Karrion Kross is picking up a win against Sami Zayn twice in a row. I can't see them kind of doing that to Sami Zayn. Hopefully from here they can kind of move the feud forward. It seems at the end of the match with it was kind of like indicated that they were just going to move on from this feud, which I think is the best thing. Hopefully they renew Karrion Kross's contract, and they can really utilize him really well, because he's another one who's just kind of caught fire at the minute. So yeah, and hopefully, I would predict that Sami Zayn probably goes into the main event scene again from here on out. So yeah, we then moved on to the title match between Tiffany Stratton and Jade Cargill, and this was a really quick one. I haven't looked at the timings for each match, but this seemed a quicker match than I was anticipating. I mean, I wasn't really kind of invested in this match because obviously we knew there wasn't going to be any cash in from Naomi on this, so I think although I think that was the way they executed Naomi's cash in was the right way. The downside of that is it did kind of suck any kind of investment I think a lot of people had in this match. I'm not a big fan of Jade Cargill, I'm not a big fan of Tiffany Stratton, so I wasn't really invested in this match. So in some ways, I could say, well, it was a blessing, but this match seemed to fly by. But honestly, with how strong these two performers have been built in the company, I was surprised at how quickly it went by, and I was pleasantly surprised actually that Tiffany Stratton retained. And I just kind of like being that, because although we make these prediction videos and stuff like that, and if we get them all right, it gives us purpose to kind of come back here and gloat and stuff. But in truth, I don't really want to get everything right. I want to, them to kind of like swerve and do something that I wasn't predicting, because I think that, that's kind of at the core of what, wrestling is. They live, you aim to provide those surprises, So yeah, that was another one that I got wrong here. So yeah, we then moved on. We then moved on to the celebrity match, if it can be called that, between Randy Orton and Jelly Roll teaming up against Drew McIntyre and Logan Paul. Again, I thought like, and this one kind of like unfolded. Yeah, I mean, Jelly Roll, I think, put on a really, really strong performance. I do have a sneaking suspicion that similar to Bad Bunny, I don't think it's really just a one and done thing. I think we could see him for a bit, kind of like appearing, maybe not, but I'm just kind of like getting that vibe, and maybe we do see more promos from Jelly Roll in the coming weeks. I just kind of like I have that inkling. Just the extent that I loved how they didn't kind of like, he was a celebrity, but had obviously evidently agreed beforehand that he wasn't going to have all this protection. Him going through the table with Logan Paul was just an incredible moment in the match. I think there was some really good there's some really good acting, really good in-ring performances here, and it ended with Jelly Roll even eating the pin from Logan Paul, which in a way I kind of like felt like was the right decision. Do you know what I mean? Sometimes I think that in these matches, sometimes the celebrity can actually be the favourite, because that tends to be the way they kind of gravitate towards. Or you get these celebrities who kind of like want to have some protection, because they got to protect their reputation. And then this didn't seem to be one of those. Although it ended up with Logan Paul pinning Jelly Roll, I felt like it served its purpose in the fact that actually it ended up, the whole point of it was to actually make Jelly Roll look strong, and Logan Paul was actually putting Jelly Roll over here and making him look like $1 million. And this is just kind of like what had happened. I think it was just great. And then another solid match, and then we moved on to the main event with CM Punk and Gunther, and again this was just a really strong match. I was pleased that they went quite deep into this match. It doesn't seem to be just, maybe I'm alone on this, maybe I'm on an island, but sometimes it feels like because of the timing that WWE have, sometimes they cut matches shorter than they really should do, and it just feels like we don't get too many of the real kind of real long kind of like Iron Man type matches anymore. So yeah, I thought that this was a really good one. But yeah, the way that this match was executed and the way it unfolded, I just kind of like all throughout it was kind of like Seth Rollins is coming. Seth Rollins is coming in to cash in, because it was just all the pieces were kind of there throughout the match. You know, we had CM Punk just taking this beat down for a large part during the match, and I thought, you know, if Gunther gets seriously injured, or appears to get seriously injured, then you know, I think we got, it's 100% Seth Rollins is coming out here. Do you know what I mean? Because it's just kind of executed in that way. And then we had the we had that moment where Gunther was below the table, and he comes up, blood pouring down his face, and I just thought that was it. That was the moment I knew 100% that Seth Rollins was coming out here, because all the pieces were just in play, you know, where they were both just going to be beat. But when the time did come for CM Punk to pick up a win, and you had that big hurrah moment that he had finally done it, it's very reminiscent of the 2013 SummerSlam with John Cena and Daniel Bryan. I actually thought they executed it well, to be fair, because I think that although that Seth Rollins being medically clear to appear at SummerSlam was kind of leaked beforehand, I think there was enough fandom in the WWE universe for that wouldn't be aware of this, so for them to be able to come out and kind of still lean into that, with Seth Rollins being on the crutches and stuff like that, and then him just appearing to kind of like walk off before doing that U-turn, I just think it worked really well. And I think it did surprise a lot of people. Basically we had then Seth Rollins beating him down with a briefcase and delivering the stomp to pick up a win, and the match and the night ended with Seth Rollins, Paul Heyman, and fraction of Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker standing tall over broken CM Punk, and it just makes you, and so you know that obviously from here on out we're going to get a CM Punk and Seth Rollins match, possibly at Clash of Paris maybe, but yeah, whenever they decide to do it, I'm all here for that, because I think that will be an absolute banger again. And I'm like I said, it's just it's perfect, because although I think that you have a notion of Seth Rollins cashing in on CM Punk, which was kind of like predictable, and it would have been more of a surprise if he had cashed in, say at the end of tonight in the John Cena and Cody Rhodes match, it would have been more surprising. But sometimes you can't just go for the shock factor, you know, as much as that is the lifeblood of what WWE do. Sometimes you just have to kind of go, it makes sense. Do you know what I mean? When you look about how deep the hatred between CM Punk and Seth Rollins and their rivalry runs, and you would just kind of be questioning that. Do you know what I mean? If you're going to maintain, if you're the type of fan who kind of wants to maintain the illusion of kayfabe and stuff like that, you would be kind of going, well, if Seth Rollins was medically clear, why wouldn't he just cash in and stop CM Punk? Surely the last thing in the world that Seth Rollins would want is for CM Punk to kind of be champion and have his moment. Like, so, you know, it just makes sense with for the character and the story and the rivalry, and it just all makes sense. So yeah, you just go with that. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, I thought that this is so like I said, guys. In conclusion, I thought this was a really strong opening night, but I do think that this is just kind of like a warm-up act. I think night 2 tonight is going to be the real big party. Do you know what I mean? Because every single match card on here could be like a certified banger. It really is so strong. It is the strongest match card I've seen on a WWPLE certainly this year. So yeah, I'm really kind of like looking forward and all here to see what they kind of do tonight. And yeah, so yeah, so let's see how it goes. So yeah, and hopefully you guys enjoyed night 1. Let me know down in the comment section what you thought, what your thoughts, good or bad, about night 1 were, what your anticipation level for night 2 is, you know, all of that fun stuff. Let me know down in the comment section, and whatever let me know. Let me know, you know, all that stuff, what your kind of thoughts are, and yeah, like I said, if you enjoyed this video and you want to see more, don't forget to ring a bell for notifications. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I hope you guys enjoy night 2 of SummerSlam, and I'll see you guys on the other side.